This is the unboxing and review of the Gundam Lfrith from the Witch from Mercury prologue. We have here the Gundam Lfrith. This is the primary mobile suit from the Witch from Mercury prologue episode. So we've got here a nice cover art. This is model number 1 in this new Witch from Mercury line of model kits. On this side here, we've got the figure assembled, both on the stand and off. The stand does not come with the kit, it's sold separately. And we've got some poses, and it shows some of the newer technologies they use for the pieces and the way that the shield splits apart. This seems to be pretty common in the Witch from Mercury, where the shield will split apart into multiple pieces and work independently. And then just some more, the front and back here for the kit once it's finished. Let's go ahead and take a look at the runners. You have the manual here. It's just a very straightforward manual. It's got your runners here. Nice thing is that it looks like they're, except the only ABS is the clavicle piece here, but you wouldn't be painting that. So the rest of them are all polystyrene, so those can be painted without having to worry about what type of paint you use. So you've got your typical head, body, and arm separation in the manual, like you would everywhere else. The one slight difference is that it doesn't seem to be any color pages, which you get in some HG kits, except for the front and back, and the back being where it just shows basically the photos and the artist concept from the anime right here. But these photos are all from what's on the box. And okay, here it is. And then you've got your color guide right here. A little bit different than other HG kits, a little bit more, integrated into the side here instead of in this, So it took me a little while to notice that that's where it was. It looks like we've got some, I guess this would be pink with some blue effects and some dark gray clear pieces. And we've got these here, which look to be some armor and some inner frame type pieces. That's what these B frames are, or panels are. And then we've got white, which looks like it's mostly armor pieces, and then you've got shield pieces and stuff like that. Here's the one piece that is the ABS plastic. This is the kind of the glow effect on the clavicle of the mobile suit. We've got beam effects. It looks like for this one the effects are blue. And then we do have some color correcting stickers, but these are a little bit different in that these aren't really silver. They're silver on top, but the reason why is that it is on the adhesive side is where the actual printing of the sticker happened as well. I don't know if you can see the darker parts here. So you're going to have one with the lines on the clavicle activated and deactivated. And then that's also what this is. So I'm not sure why there's the stickers as well, because there was the clavicle piece and right here in the dark gray clear. So, and then it looks like you got things that are going to be eyes and camera lenses like you normally get, and then a couple other things. I'll decide at the time that I put this together if I'm going to use the stickers I'll definitely use the stickers for these, but these other ones if they'll be painted or if I'll use the stickers. And what I also did is I did get the water slide decals for this model kit. These are done by a third party, Delphi. They do really good decals. So, this will be part of the post-build customizations. So there'll be a separate video for that part. Here is the Lfrith without the decals applied yet, but there has been panel lining. And here it is with the water slide decals applied and a matte clear coat applied. Here is the Gundam Lfrith from the Witch from Mercury prologue. It is a very nice kit. It was quite easy to put together. There was a little bit of complexity, a little bit more complexity in this, in that the kit has no polycaps, which is a normal way of HG and some MG kits to be given articulation points and such. What this had was new methods of just doing the plastic pieces fitting together to make the joints. So since this was the first kit that I did which had it that way, even though I have done other kits which were a mix between the joints being plastic and the joints being polycaps, this one was a little bit more fidgety because everything had to fit exactly how it needed to in order for everything to go together and the articulation to work. So I had to forget some of the bad habits I had formed by maybe putting in one peg and then snapping in the other peg. This one, basically the entire piece had to be lined up to be pushed in and pushed in exactly how it had to go in. Once I got used to that, it was really easy to do. Like I said, it was basically me just forgetting bad habits I had formed over with the other more forgiving kits. So I think that's going to be essentially the way that the Witch from Mercury kits are, because all of them that I've heard about or seen do not have polycaps. So it's all plastic on plastic joint systems, which overall is great because it means for incredibly tight joints so that you don't have to worry about things moving. I mean, look here. The arm is holding this fairly heavy gun without any problems with the bench elbow and everything. So it's a little bit more fidgety, but once you get used to it, it's fine, and it's definitely worth the fidgetiness. So this doesn't come with a whole lot of accessories. That seems to be a trend that started with the Iron-Blooded Orphans, where you really had limited things or limited accessories because they decided to sell separate kits or extension kits, I guess, or expansion kits, whatever you want to call them, which had more hands and different weapons and stuff like that. I don't know if that's the full trend here. I know that they already have, done a separate expansion for the Mirasol backpack and a couple of other attachments and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's going to be the full trend for these or not, but you do get very few accessories. Like, you only have the one pair of grasping hands. You basically get the shield, the gun with an effect, the backpack, and here you've got the handles for your light, your beam swords that just kind of connect the same way that you would any other one. But that's it for accessories. Now, the accessories might be more limited than what we might get from other HG series, but it doesn't really limit the articulation or what you can do with it, because what is a common theme with the Witch from Mercury is that the shield can separate into what are called Gundam bits. And that's what can happen with this. This shield will come apart into its component pieces. And these then can be incorporated into the backpack here. Now this piece here, which is the central piece, it just snaps right on to the back piece, which if you notice, there aren't traditional skirting for this Gundam. It's very tight, a couple little things, but there is no traditional skirting like you would on other HG areas. And then these pieces, everything except for this one, fit into this. So you turn this so that the exposed area is facing up. And these pieces slide right into here. Okay. These, let's see here, just gotta make sure I get it the right way. Yes, that's the right way. This side. Oops, sorry, I had it the wrong way. There we go. Those slide in there and just kind of click in. Where this part is up above, there's a couple little things here that fit into those slots. So that's the backpack. There's that part. Now it does make the backpack a bit heavier. And then for the gun, you gotta take off the hand. You take out the beam effect, and the way that you do that is you just kind of push these two ends. This one doesn't go as far as this one, but you can then separate this. This fits into here. You push them back together. And then the handle here goes right into this little slot right there. I don't know what's going on here. There we go. It fits right into there at an angle so that it goes right up. And the nice thing is that this butt piece here, the backpack is actually slanted so that it can stay on without interfering with that. And then that's the backpack that you get when you put the Gundam bits on it. Like I said, it does make the backpack much, much heavier. So, you've really got to get it to balance. So let's go ahead and take a look at and the one other thing is this right here, this front piece right here, the clavicle piece. This was pre-molded as a piece all in one where the effects were molded right into the plastic. However, they did provide a separate plastic piece and the decals so that you could create your own clavicle piece with either the black deactivated or even the activated effects on the sticker. Well, since it already had the activated on the pre-molded one, I just used the deactivated. So if you wanted to have this as in a deactivated mode, you just pop that off, put this in, and then you have a deactivated mode. This is nice because the only activation effect is here in the clavicle. Other Witch from Mercury model kits, they have them in the legs and stuff like that. And from what I've seen so far, the only extra piece of plastic you get is the clavicle piece, whether it's one piece or two pieces, separated into two pieces, but they don't give you extra plastic for the other effect areas. So you can't really do a full deactivated mode when you're with those, but this one you can at least do a full deactivated mode. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at the articulation. even though there is no skirting to get in the way, I do find that the hips are a little bit restricted because of these parts right here, the little side area. And they can only really kind of go a little bit more than 45 degrees out. And the ankle doesn't quite, well, maybe it does. Let's see here. Can I do a split? Yeah, I guess you can. Maybe I can. Okay. You can move the toes in such a way that, yeah, I guess you can. You could do kind of a split, not quite. I guess that's about as far as you'll be able to go, as far as a split is concerned. So the hips are a little bit, you can go up about a 45-degree angle, a little bit more in the front, very little in the back because you've got the back piece here. It's not a skirt. The knee can bend all the way back, and that's on both sides. The elbow is basically yeah, I guess not quite all the way, but almost all the way, but it's a single joint. The shoulder piece kind of moves out of the way, so you can go all the way up on the shoulder. In the arm, you can twist here, but that's the only place they can twist, except for, of course, the wrist. Oops. This has actually been a pretty solid kit as far as things staying together. I've been playing with this a lot, and it hasn't had things come apart like that. The head, it's got, you can turn it all the way around. You can go back a bit. And you can go forward. There's a little bit of back and forth, up and down from the piece in here, the piece here that forms the neck. This is two ball joints, one that goes in the head and then one that goes out at a 90-degree angle to the front and clips into a receiving area in the back here. And what I found is that sometimes when manipulating the head, it might separate at that ball joint, so I've just got to push that back. It hasn't happened in a while, which is nice, but it does happen from time to time, so just keep aware of that. It's not this is pretty tight up here, so the piece, you're not going to lose anything because it's not going to fall out. It's going to stay in place, but it's going to be loose as far as the ball joint's no longer locked in. So you'll just have to lock it back in. The foot has some pretty good movement. It is kind of twists here at the toes. It can go down a little bit. It can go up. This, the ankle piece, just goes up and down because there's like a little ball joint there. You can bend the ankle. Just be careful because it is a C-clip, so some of the bend that I'm doing there is just because the C-clip is coming undone. And then here with the heel, you can turn the heel around if you need to. I think that's more so that if you're doing a split type of thing, you can line the heel up with the toes when you bend those, just to give you the support. And, you know, similar to the Iron-Blooded Orphans, it's using the split foot design where the heel and the toes are separate. Not as much as a high heel aesthetic with this one, at least, that you get with the Iron-Blooded Orphans. They do have some nice little things like this knee part goes up and moves up and down. The thruster does not move, it's in place. But these are front thrusters. You've got some rear thrusters. And that's pretty much that. Now, you know, you can do, let's see if we can, yep, we can do the kneeling. We can do our Stella pose. Let's see if we can do a full Saturday night pose. Doesn't look as good because it doesn't have the Doesn't have the open hand, it just has the grasping hand, but still. There we go. Got our Saturday night. So the articulation is fine. It's pretty average. It's not exceptional. But, overall, I really do like this kit. It is extremely solid. It was fun to put together. Like I said, it was a little bit more fidgety, and once I figured out how fidgety it was and how to work with the fidgetiness, then it was fine. And, as I emphasized before, it was just me forgetting my bad habits. Now, one thing also to note is this is not complete. This is not just out of the box. I've done the panel lining. Excuse me. I've done the panel lining, but what I also did is I have applied some water slide decals that I got, and there's a separate video to show the applying of those. And then to protect and I also painted certain of the color correcting effects on here, the colors, instead of using the stickers. So what I've done to protect the paint and to protect the decals is I did do a matte clear coat on this. So this has the matte clear coat on it as well. The only part I did not do matte clear coat on is I took this piece off because I certainly didn't want to make this matte. I wanted to keep this shiny. So I would say, just because of the way the kit is, I would definitely give this an A, because I think it's very representative of the line, the Witch from Mercury line that is going to be coming out. Normally the first couple within the line, that tends to set the template for how these things will be, especially the Gundam mobile suits, because there are Gundam and non-Gundam mobile suits in this universe. So I feel that the Gundam ones will be just like similar to this, especially since that, with the narrow waist that was kind of introduced with Iron-Blooded Orphans, and the fact that the inner frame is more considered in the design and aesthetic than some of the earlier suits. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you for the next one. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please do give it a thumbs up. That really does help out the channel. And if you would like to see more like this, please go ahead and subscribe and click the notification bell. If you do have some time, I would really appreciate it if you could watch one of the videos that are popping up around my head.